All set? All right. Good evening. Call the Brandon Select Board to order for the December 13th meeting. Is there a motion regarding the agenda that was posted?
So moved. I'll second.
Motion and a second. I have a couple of changes to offer. Item 7, I'd like to add 7B, a warrant with today's date in the amount of $22,458. This is related to a grant for the Brandon Library. And then add an executive session as item 7C, the appointment or employment or evaluation of a public officer or employee under provisions of 1 VSA 313A3. Anybody else have any changes to be made? If not, all in favor of adopting the agenda as we've just amended it, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. Ayes have it. Before we get into the business of the meeting, I did want to just take a moment to mark the passing of one of our more active community members yesterday. Brandon lost a former teacher, former coach, former bus driver, someone who has contributed a lot, whose family has contributed a lot to our community life in the passing of Bob Ripley. So if we might just pause for a moment of reflective silence in honor of Bob Ripley's contributions to our community. Thank you. What's the pleasure of the board on the approval of the minutes as for the November meetings that are listed? Yeah. Motion from Mr. Coolidge to approve all of the minutes, November 15th, 22nd, 29th, and December 6th.
I'll second.
Second from Mr. Markowski. Any errors or omissions in the minutes as submitted? There are none. All in favor of approval of the minutes, say aye.
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 I'm going to abstain because I wasn't at the November 15th.
Okay, so 4 ayes though, yes? 4 ayes, no nays, 1 abstention. Thank you. Item 3 then, Mr. Atherton's town manager report.
So I have a brief but important report tonight. So as you guys know, the last 2 weeks we've been spent working on the FY22 budget. I think it's been going well. I think we've got a pretty good budget to present so far. As far as the chief of police position, I've had 3 interviews. All of them are very strong candidates, and I think it's going to be a tough decision to make, but we're almost there. So just wanted to keep you guys in the loop that and 3 was pretty good, seeing as how the rest of the world doesn't get any. Don't have any folks to interview right now. So on December 10th, Governor Scott announced the 12 Resilient Community Grant recipients, and the town of Brandon was granted funding for 3 residential property buyouts on Newton Road. You remember these are the ones that I applied for a few months back. They were 100% grants for these folks. I did apply for 4. One was a commercial property that was not eligible, so that's pretty exciting. Unfortunately, the borings at Arnold District Road Culvert, I said we're getting done last week at our last meeting, were postponed due to scheduling issues by the contractor, and unfortunately we don't have a rescheduled date yet. So I was hoping to get that project put out to bid by the end of the year. I don't think it's going to happen that quick, so we'll see what happens. Kind of bums me out. I was ready to get that thing out to bid. So. And that's really all I have tonight.
Any questions or comments for the town manager from the board?
Sure.
No. How about from the public or from the, I see we have members of the press. We have Keith Whitcomb of the Rutland Herald joining us by Zoom. So open questions for the town manager or comments for the town manager tonight. You can always go back and ask questions later on during the meeting. The next item is public comment and participation reserved for items not appearing on the agenda later. Does anybody have any public comment tonight? Anything not on the agenda anybody would like to bring up? I see we have State Representative Butch Shaw here tonight. Just interested citizen?
Interested citizen is stepping in just before the session starts in about 3.5 weeks. Just letting you know if you need anything, give us a call. And if you have anything on the agenda agenda that you'd like to move forward, we need to hear from you sooner than later. Or we'll just kind of cruise along as we're going.
All right, thank you. Butch reminding us all that the session is going to start in a few weeks, and they're happy to consider constituent concerns ahead of that. Yes, Bill Moore.
Yes, I meant this to be a part of Dave's report, but I apparently didn't hit send. I apologize.
No, you didn't.
My boss. Youth wrestling registration's opened up. Practice for 3rd through 6th grade starts in January. Kindergarten through 2nd grade starts in February. Our kindergarten through 4th grade basketball registrations are still open. Practice for 3rd through 4th grade starts December 27th. Kindergarten through 2nd grade starts on January 8th. Dance class will be starting back again here on January 4th. This will be a January through April class with the final concert to button up this series. Ages 3 through 6 on Tuesdays here at the Town Hall, and ages 7 through 11 on Saturdays at the Rosswood Street building, formerly the Brandon Boys and Girls Club. Quiz night will be back at a new location starting on January 9th. It will be at the Nestle Golf Course. This is the collaboration with the Brandon Free Public Library. It's immensely popular. Sign up at the BrandonPublicLibrary.org website, and we'll have pick-up cornhole here at the Brandon Town Hall. It'll start on January 9th as well, 6:30 p.m. Show up and throw with the best.
Thank you, Bill, for all those cool activities that are available to folks in our community. Are there some more members of the public with some items they'd like to bring up this evening? Again, if not, there's always a chance later on. It's pretty informal, and it seems like it's even a little bit more informal than usual tonight. Item 5, public input on policing. The board had requested a little bit of public input to help the town manager along in his process of replacing our police chief, Chris Burkell, who is finishing his tenure in Brandon this week. This coming Friday. Do you have any report from any public input that you may have received so far? Because we asked folks to get in touch with you because it's your hire.
It's a very simple report.
Yes.
I had one email, and the only concern was that they hoped that whoever the new chief was would continue to support Bravo.
Restorative justice.
Yes. So
great. And that's been part of all of the interviews that you've conducted so far.
And all three either have a similar thing in their towns or are aware of it. So actually, no, all three had them in their towns. So,
okay, so that's a great bit. Anybody tonight in the room? Anybody with any public input about policing in Brandon?
I think we've got big shoes to fill. Chris was a phenomenal chief. And
absolutely. I do want to thank the town manager for reaching out to me as the chair of the board and inviting me to sit in on those 3 candidate conversations that he had. And I think that it's been valuable just to see, and I agree with his earlier comments that any 3 of those candidates I think could be a really excellent chief of police for Brandon. And I'll be curious to see how he is able to make a decision among some qualified candidates like that. Looking forward to it. Did you, by the way, did you have any response from the VLCT posting or the other avenues that you've reached out for?
Nothing. So Chief actually put it on the state. It must be the one that goes through the Police Academy.
Yeah.
I don't think he received anything on that, and the day I posted it or sent it to VLCT was the day I received an email from one of our candidates, and so it was prior to putting it on, and I haven't heard a word from anybody on the league's website. So, yeah. So actually, I think 2 of them heard it through like WCAX or something because it was on a newscast. So.
Oh, that's right, it was. Yeah. Have any board members received any public comment directly or indirectly, individually? No, I haven't either.
Well, I'm just to tell you a little bit about what we've been doing with the ones we've interviewed is Seth's been involved with it, and actually Bill Moore's been part of it. I've had him come in and ask questions as our economic director, and I think that we've all had think we have a pretty good list of questions for all the candidates, and I think the process is done quite well, to be honest with you.
I was pleased to hear each of the candidates had some awareness of Brandon, and it was positive in each case. It was a good feeling. Okay, so maybe we've had a little bit of discussion on that. How about item 6 regarding the select board meeting scheduled for 2 weeks from now?
So the last couple of years, we haven't had the select board meeting that sort of comes around Christmas. We do have a budget meeting next Monday, so if there's any warrants that need to be dealt with then, they can easily be added onto an agenda for that. And I am planning on not being here the week of Christmas and New Year, so I would really like to not make it to a meeting if I don't have to. It's a pretty quiet time all around anyway, and the state offices are quiet, and the phone really doesn't ring. So, and we're actually looking at doing a bunch of computer upgrades for our cybersecurity and stuff that week too. So the less that we have to do.
Is that part of the arrangement that we instituted with
Silhouette?
Yeah. Okay. What's the pleasure of the board about December 27th meeting?
I'd make a motion to cancel it.
Yeah, okay. Motion and a second. Any discussion? I would say, just for the benefit of the conversation, that because it's during budget season, we have been meeting more frequently than regular by having these intervening budget workshops kind of between select board nights. And I think Dave mentioned that we met last week, the 6th, and we're going to meet again the 20th. So if things come up that require some prompt response, we should be able to fulfill it that way.
I guess since we're having a discussion, I would just add that that's just another day for me, so I'll be around if we need to do some kind of Zoom meeting or something, if there's more news, because there does seem to be some things that are in play.
Well, yeah, there's more to come on that too. Actually, later. But I was going somewhere on that. Oh, if anything comes up that's like pressing other than signing a warrant, I will do another agenda post so that folks, there's prior notice for the meeting. So, but I really don't foresee anything else.
Mr. Giles and I have been a little team working on the town report, speaking of stuff being quiet and things like that. So we've received a number of reports from departments and committees, but I might just take the opportunity to get into the minutes that all the departments and committees and officers should submit their annual report to be included in the town report book as soon as possible. The first deadline request has passed, and the select board has yet to submit its report. I'll just throw that out there.
I thought the date was the 14th.
No, the date was the date.
Oh.
Did you have a comment on the select board? Good luck. Good luck. Okay. Further discussion about December 27th? Anybody in the public really hoping to come to a meeting that Monday between Christmas and New Year's? Ready to vote? All in favor of, we have a motion in a second. All in favor of canceling the December 27th regular meeting of the select board, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. Any abstentions? Is that unanimous?
Sure.
That's,
Well, if Lee's feeling better, Charlene just said she's not going to be here either, so this end of the table is going to be quiet.
that's unanimous. All right. How about the 2 warrants? There's one with regular bills, $111,029.15, and there's one for that library grant pass-through, $22,458. Any motion?
I'll make a motion to approve both of them.
Okay.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions on any of the bills as they were presented? Pretty straightforward. Yeah.
You want a summary on the library grant, just how it works?
Okay, because that came to us a little bit late. Sure.
Yeah, it actually was emailed Friday afternoon to us, I guess. But so I think if you guys remember, we are like a pass-through for a library grant. For the grant the library was awarded for their addition, and this is just like their scoping and study. So they have to go through a municipality for these types of grants, and so we're just a pass-through. So when they send the money to us, we pass it on to them. And this did cover like we had attorney's fees that the town had for looking over documents, so anything that the town has approved for fees, those are paid out of that as well.
And it's actually kind of a helpful little note here that appears on each of the lines, which is great.
Yeah.
Any other questions about the two warrants? If not, ready to vote, all in favor of approval of the two warrants as they were presented, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no, it's unanimous. All that's left, I see, is the executive session. Any announcements for the good of the community? Things of that nature?
Just to let everybody know, as your economic development officer, rec director, sitting on a search committee, sitting on a search committee for the new Otter Valley principal. They're actually hiring for Otter Valley principal and assistant principal right now. It's for the Otter Valley principal. They're doing candidate forums. Public can attend on, tonight is the first, I'm missing out on the first two, but there's two more candidates that are being interviewed tomorrow, and there's candidate forums tomorrow night, so you can check those out by way of Zoom, ask questions.
Interesting. Thank you for serving on that committee. Very important. Others? If not, we will recess the board at 7:17.
That's all right.
You completely done it.
And then we'll expect to come back for an executive session, which I assume
That's a record by 11 hours.
Okay. Board's at recess.
I wanted to